what actually happened, I fell asleep behind the wheel.
Wow.
So I could have killed people, you know what I mean? So I was
Wow.
like devastated about that. That's
Yeah.
how I actually found out that I had sleep apnea.
Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching The Healthy Alternative. Today, we have a special guest. We have Kevin with us. We're going to dive into a little bit of Kevin's background, figure out where he started, what prompted him to want to work on his health, and what are some of the outcomes he's able to achieve through, his mental fortitude, staying consistent, and, digging into AHA. So with that being said, that's coming up next. Stay tuned. All right, so I wanted to dig into your past a little bit and maybe try to frame for the viewers, where were you at when you got to a place where you were like, yo, my back's against the wall, like I got to make a change. What was going on in your life at that time? What were you dealing with, as far as health goes, weight goes, and things of that nature?
Well, I started. I'm a bus driver, so we have a very sedentary job. We're just sitting down basically all day.
Hmm.
We probably know where the best restaurants at because we bus drivers, so we pass these places all the time.
Right.
I have sleep apnea. A few years ago, was diagnosed with sleep apnea back in like 2016, I want to say, and my doctor told me that I could reverse it if I lose weight.
Wow.
Back then in 2016, I actually lost 70 pounds. Back then I was 295, dropped down to 225 by going to the gym 5 days a week and for 2 hours a day. So fast forward, I had basically like cured the sleep apnea. Pandemic came and stuff like that came. I gained the weight back over the years, maybe like I'll say early 2020. Went to the doctor. I have a sleep apnea problems again. He just told me your weight, but this time they told me I was pre-diabetic. So I was like, wow. He's like, but you have the chance to reverse that too if you lose weight. So I took it upon myself to get the weight down. At that time, it was 345 pounds. So I set a goal. Me and my wife was actually going to a football game. We like big Bears fans. The Bears are playing the Las Vegas Raiders. And I told her after the game that I'm going to, start my journey to lose weight.
Yeah, man, that's quite a bit that you had going. First of all, congratulations on, you know what I mean, not once but twice being able to take control of your health. That speaks volumes. A lot of people, they really just go to the doctors and be like, yo, this is your job to take care of my health. um Second of all, kudos to I don't know who your doctor is. He a family doctor, or holistic practitioner? It's so rare to hear that doctors be like, yeah, you could reverse this without medication and all that. Just change your diet, lose some weight.
Yeah,
Um,
he was a regular doctor. He wasn't like a special doctor. It's a family doctor. I just went because I was feeling, when you have sleep apnea, you feel sleepy all the time. You can get like 10 hours of rest and you always going to feel tired no matter what. So that's when I know that I was getting, back to, it's all about your net size when it comes to sleep apnea. That's what they say. And
oh, okay.
I was feeling real tired all the time. So that's where I really went to the doctor.
How did you originally figure out that you had sleep apnea though?
I originally found out I had sleep apnea back in preview like 2016. That's actually what happened. So when you're a bus driver, well, we call ourselves bus operators, but the mainstream people call it bus driver. But when you're a bus driver, um, I had ran this red light. They got these
Mm,
red light cameras. I don't know if they got them where you live, but in Chicago, they have red light cameras and they
mm.
flash you. And they called me in the office and said that you ran this red light. Hey, Kevin, you ran this red light. What's going on? I didn't even know that I ran the red light. So he
Wow.
pulled the tape. What actually happened, I fell asleep behind the wheel.
Wow.
So I could have killed people, you know what I mean? So I was
Wow.
like devastated about that. That's how
Yeah.
I actually found out that I had sleep apnea.
Man, that's a crazy way to find out.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Thank God that I didn't kill anyone or kill myself. So that
Yeah.
was a blessing in disguise right there. But that's how I found out.
The interesting thing about it is, I heard an interesting stat that said, um, driving while like sleepy, like, what I'm saying, like you're really, really sleepy, which is not your case, but I'm saying like driving when you're really sleepy is more dangerous than driving like under the influence of alcohol,
Wow, I can believe
statistically.
that. I can believe
Yeah.
that.
All right,
'Cause,
so that's a quite a bit of a motivator, honestly, like to be able to get that addressed, especially being a bus operator and having so many people's lives in your hand each day. Obviously, that's a major issue. So once again, kudos, bro. Because like a lot of people just they'll play the victim card and they really won't do anything. So you figured it out. How did you allow the pandemic? Because like what it looks like is you really hit it the traditional route, diet, exercise, and you reversed everything. But how did you allow the pandemic to creep back up on you? Like what were you at mentally?
Well, when the pandemic, we was like basically stuck in the house. Like my job, like they had shut down for a while. You couldn't even go to work. It was bad. Then I had injured my hand. Well, I couldn't do anything. I had a surgery on my wrist where my tendon was torn. So I was down for like 2 months for that. So I couldn't do anything. So slowly but surely, the weight just kept creeping up, creeping up, and creeping up.
Gotcha. My brother Steve dealt with something similar with his hand. He had a massive amount of inflammation in his hand, and I mean, it got bad to the point where he said he would have to brace. He had to have braces on his hands, and he would have to like try to do something weird with his hands just to use the bathroom because his wrists and stuff were so torn up.
Yeah.
So I can understand how, what I'm saying, that could play into it. So the second time around when you started it off at 345, right?
Yes.
What was your approach? Because you were actually like bigger. You almost 50 pounds bigger than you were the last time. So what was your approach? What was your mindset coming into it this time?
Well, the last time I had a lot of time because I had my seniority was lower than my job. So I had a 4 hour break every day where I had time where I can go to the gym and I can work out every day. This
Mm-hmm.
time I work like maybe 12 to 15 hours per day. I don't have time to go to the gym. I work a lot of overtime on my job. I don't really have time for the gym. I mean, I can make time I want to, but that was not my goal. I was like, I wanted to find a way to lose weight really without going to the gym. That was my goal.
Gotcha. So when you approached the AHA community, had you already been familiar with fasting?
I wasn't familiar with fasting, but I was familiar with the keto diet.
Okay. So talk to us about how you actually were able. Well, actually, I didn't even ask you. So you were at 345 at your biggest. How much did you end up losing?
I'm down to 235 now, so I lost 110 pounds so far.
Congratulations, man. That's what's up. 110 pounds. Man, it's something about that 100-pound mark. We got a lot of people that have 100 pounds to lose and do actually accomplish that. And it's actually pretty interesting because when you look at our community holistically, you think, they're just bigger people, but like we just all like really deal with a lot of obesity
Yeah,
with I guess our diet and our environment and what I'm saying, how mama used to cook. And
yeah.
100 pounds is like it's a milestone. It's a huge milestone. So congratulations on that, man.
It's easy to gain, but it takes some work to get rid of it, though. You pick it
Yeah,
up easy, but when you get rid of it, you got to be dedicated.
right. So what was your regimen like? How did you approach this?
Well, I approached this first when I found out about keto, that I can eat all the meat I want and just lower my carbs and I could lose weight. At first, honestly, I didn't think that you couldn't. I didn't know that you can lose weight, honestly, without working out. Because I did it so fast last time with working out, it came off, but I didn't know that you can do that. So that was like my regimen was like really keto, uh, fasting, and OMAD was like in the beginning, I was just eating one meal a day. Then I found out after I kept watching like more and more of your videos about these rolling 72s, and that was like, man, that's like amazing. Like it's like probably had the most effect on my weight loss, I would say.
Wow. That's actually it's interesting because when I think about the timeline, so when you joined the group, I probably started talking about like the Rolling 72 literally like maybe a month and a half after you joined. Because before that point, like I never did like a video actually talking about that particular cycle. And a lot of people like that cycle. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, what we decided to do because of the popularity of it, we're putting together a challenge. So we're going to be launching a challenge January 1st for those who are interested, and they'll be able to join us as a collective. And we're going to do the R72. We're going to do prep. We're going to do refeed. We got a lot of goodies that we're attaching to it. So actually, when this video comes out, we should probably already be advertising for it. So if you guys are interested in joining, I'm gonna put the link in the comment section in the description box. But so that's just perfect. I didn't even realize you had used the R72.
We met each other, and well, I found you during that time when I needed to find out some more information about based on how to lose weight.
Definitely. So the thing about keto, right? Um, a lot of people are surprised at what the ketogenic diet is able to do. Burning ketones is an amazing fuel source for the body. I actually had a guy on a channel, man, he's probably about four years ago now. He had seizures. He had been dealing with seizures for like 25 years at that time, and he adopted a ketogenic diet. He adopted like one meal a day, I believe. It's been a while now since I talked to him, but it was very similar to what you said you did. And he was able to get off of his seizure medication, which was, that's life altering for an individual. Same as losing, 100 or 200 pounds. So being able to lose weight and reverse disease utilizing something as simple as just like dietary change, some fasting. It doesn't have to be like this big fight.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
the consistency piece is the key. Now I'm curious, when you started utilizing keto, obviously that's a dietary change, right? What was it like? Did you have resistance to making the change, or did you deal with any like weird cravings?
I won't say I did with no real craving because I'm big like on candy and sweets and stuff. But when I cut it off, I would say like after the first 2 weeks, it was like really okay for me. Like for me, it was okay. My body acted different though, like my bowel movement and stuff. Like it didn't like it. Like it didn't like it, and I was like drinking a lot of water, so that was a change for me too. I never drank water like my whole life. I
Wow.
like I would say like I probably like hated water.
Mm.
Difference for my body, I would say, but for me, mentally wise, like if I focus on something, I'm gonna do it. So like it was if I had the cravings, like forget the cravings. I'm trying to lose weight.
Right. So yeah, actually I grew up, a lot of my friends, man, like I had a friend, he was probably one of my most athletic friends growing up. He hated water. He would drink milk. He would drink milk, Kool-Aid, juice.
Yeah.
Um, and now later on in life, unfortunately to say, he's developed quite a few diseases, some form of vitiligo. He's got lost his hair on his face and it's turning white. So he's like losing his pigmentation and things of that nature. And people will try to tell you, oh, it's just genetic, right? Because you go to the doctor and they'll, oh, it's genetic, da da da. There's nothing you can do. But I watched what he ate growing up, and I think that there's a correlation between the environmental stressors that are put on us as children based on what we're eating, what we're taught, and the disease we have later on in life. So what I'm hearing from you is you were able to cut out sugar, start drinking water, adopt some one meal a day, some rolling fasting, some dietary change, and very quickly reverse a lot of the disease you had dealt with. How fast did you actually do this?
Well, it took me about to lose the total amount of weight. It took me.
Yeah,
I just made the 1 year mark, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I lost probably 50, half those pounds within like maybe less than 90 days, I would say.
nice. Yeah, I think one of the things that's great about our community is when you really plug in and absorb the information, you can see how quickly you can make change. So I'm curious because like one of the things that I get a lot from bus drivers, truck drivers, people who are like over the road, they talk about the difficulty of being able to, really lock into a lifestyle like this just because they're literally in the truck all the time or they're on the road all the time. You talked about having a lot of water, so you're drinking a lot of water. Did you find any like difficulty with having to use the bathroom frequently, or how did you kind of manage that?
Well, I managed it because we got like a bus driver, kind of like a secret. You can use the restroom anywhere you need to along your route.
Oh, okay.
Usually, I have a good. I know you do a good job of like utilizing. We go to terminals back and forth. So every time I get to a terminal, I use the restroom.
Okay. Yeah, like I think one of the things people don't really realize is like where there's a will, there's a way. Now,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, your situation is a little different from some of the other drivers out there, but in general, I've had all kinds of drivers on this channel, and they all, I'm saying, a lot of them lost 100 pounds. Like that just seems to be the number. But it's easy to, I think, make excuses, when there's something that you don't want to do or you feel uncomfortable. But the reality is there's always a way to get around that.
Yeah, I think that's just an excuse, to be honest with you, because if someone telling me, I go to the doctor and they're telling me I can get something that's going to cause me to die or cause an accident or fall asleep behind the wheel and I can kill someone, I'm going to try to do the best thing I can to prevent that from happening. So that's
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
me. So I don't know.
So now that you've dropped such an enormous amount of weight, what is life like for you? Like, were you well, let me ask this. Have you always been on the bigger side? Is this a different experience being at your current weight?
I mean, this is the heaviest I ever been. Like before I started at this job, I was probably a buck 80. I was in good shape, and I played
Okay.
football in high school, so I had I had arms, I had abs. Then slowly but slowly over 16 years though, I picked up the weight. It was like a rolling effect, and jumped up. I'm almost 350 pounds.
Gotcha. So, one of the questions I always get when I do these interviews, especially when people lose, 100 pounds, 120 pound, whatever, do they deal with loose skin? So I'm curious because you did things a little different, right? You went the ketogenic diet route. What's your experience been with loose skin?
I would say I don't have any loose skin. To me, that's I like because I always been kind of toned a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't have like loose skin, like what they say with loose skin. That's, to me, I look
Yeah.
at them as loose skin. So I would say no.
Okay. I mean, listen, that's probably one of the biggest questions I get, like, about loose skin. I had somebody hit me up in my inbox a couple weeks ago, and they were like, "Yo, like, I want to do this, but I'm definitely scared of loose skin." And I'm just like, you know, I get it. I understand that it's not the most attractive thing, but it's like you would rather die early. Like you would rather die early than have loose skin, which if you rock with us, you only got to worry about loose skin. Like
Do it the right
virtually,
way.
yeah, virtually nobody has loose skin, or if they do, it's such a small amount. It's nothing to even worry about.
I'd rather like live than worry about the skin if it's me.
Yeah, hey, we on the same page, man. So at this point, right? Like you mentioned that you're still bigger than what you were maybe in high school or college. What are your plans for the future as far as your weight or your health and things of that nature?
Well, I had set a goal to get down to my goal weight was 225 pounds. So obviously I'm only like 10 pounds away from that. So I
Hmm.
set a goal to get under either 200 or under 200. Then I wanted to start gaining and building muscle. That's what my goal was afterwards.
Gotcha. Do you have a timeline in mind for like when you want to hit these goals?
I was pushing for the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, but I'm not gonna rush it. Like when it comes, it comes.
Hmm. With that being said, man, I wanted to give you an opportunity in case there was anything that I didn't touch on, any questions I didn't ask. Is there any part of your journey, or maybe like maybe you've been getting questions in any of the groups that people ask, and something that you think might be vital for people to know?
Oh yeah, a lot of people have been asking me like keto diet, like what kind of like meals I need. And I really just eat basic meals, like the normal stuff I eat before I started my journey. Like if I wanted to eat some fish, some chicken, or some steak or something like that, I probably bake it instead of frying it. And if I do fry something, it's an almond flour, coconut flour, and I use olive oil, coconut oil. That's the base.
Mm,
Basically, that's it. You got eliminate rice, got eliminate pasta, eliminate bread. They got that stuff. They have those things with keto, but it doesn't taste. If you gonna eliminate it, just go in and eliminate it because you try to eat that keto bread, it tastes like cardboard. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So I deal with it. That
yeah,
ain't not anything I can think of right now.
that's interesting because I teach obviously eating more plant-based foods,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much the same thing. So like a lot of people which is kind of like the opposite of like traditional keto, a lot of people want to find that like meat replacements. They're like, okay, we're not supposed to eat meat. What can we do? And I'm like, don't look for a meat replacement because, you know, like the whole goal is to get away from that type of lifestyle, but just enjoy whatever new strategy you're utilizing, enjoy the food for what it is. versus trying to find that food, in a ketogenic form or your plant-based form, whatever the case is. So I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you spending this time. And, I think as we go into the holiday season, my goal is to give people a lot to think about as far as the decisions they make. So even, when you're talking earlier, like, yeah, you go on vacation, Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas is coming up. I think it's important to not feel like you're restricting yourself, but also be conscious of the effects that, the foods you're going to eat are going to have on your body.
It definitely
Uh,
do have an effect on your body.
Right. Right. And then of course the goals, because like one of the things I realize is when as far as like people gaining weight, they gain the majority of their weight during this holiday season. You know, we're
Yeah.
eating a lot of sugar. I don't think people realize how much sugar affects weight gain. And we're eating these soul foods and all this stuff. And it's like, if you've been working on, knocking out particular goals for the whole year, don't overindulge during this time and kind of set yourself back. Just, have this or that a little bit here or there, but then get right back on it. So hey, if y'all are looking to lock back in at the beginning of the year, like I mentioned earlier, we got the challenge coming, the 20, the 70, the R72 weight loss challenge is coming up very, very soon. And we've done some pretty cool things to tweak it. I don't know, man, maybe you'd even be interested in checking it out, but
Be interested in joining that.
yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see you all next time.